I see it now. There it is. So far doing alright. Although, I do need to actually drink water. Contrary to popular belief, doing all these voices doesn't actually make your throat or mouth moist in the slightest. And I don't know about you, but, more water. Yep, sure, why not? Actually, while we're on this subject, since the last time I did have to nerf the check fluids, I'm sorry, I had to take the nerf bat to it, so I have a maximum of 20 redeems on a stream and 3 a person, just to make sure that we don't drown me in water like the last time. Granted, I do need to drink more water, but even still, holy crap, y'all flooded me. That's right, that's the passage of time. I went through that to go to the past. Celebi, only you can open the passage of time. Do your thing.
Sure.
Stop there. That will do. What? Ugh, that voice. It can't be. I don't mind. I don't mind. All things are a learning sorry. All things are a learning experience, and this one was actually a pretty valuable one for me. Hello to you all. It's been a while. Dusknor. Dusknor. Your scurrying carried you far, but sad to say, that's all over now. The Sableye, too. Crafty, Dusknor. You allowed us to roam free, but kept your eye on us the whole time. Just so you could capture Celebi as well. What? So you mean we were followed the whole time? I didn't see this coming. It's all my fault, Celebi. I'm sorry.
Oh, apologies don't suit your style, my dear Grovile. And do you honestly think I could be caught?
Everyone, you ready to fight?
What? Of course.
We are going to power our way through. Push them aside. Dive into the passage.
Got it.
So you'll resist. Spare yourself the effort. You have no chance of succeeding. Can we change that bad guy's voice? I don't know what to change it to, though. We won't know for sure until we try. Dusknoir, you and me, now. Then what to change his voice to? Grovile. I'm anxious in a good way, but feel bad for that. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Grovile, are you really such a fool to think I'd come alone? What? Now, Master Dialga.
It turned pitch black.
Actually, moment to mention this. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon did get a few. I made it worse. Sorry, I don't know what else to change Dusknoir's voice to. Hello there, King Ismail. Hope you're doing well. Not. Primal Dialga.
What is it?
Okay, different voice. That's Primal Dialga.
What? That is Primal Dialga?
What's wrong, Grovile? Where's your bravado now? At this point, I'm just gonna try to aim for, like, Okay, then, in that case, we'll aim for Shoma Namamoto! Yeah.
My dear Grovile.
This is it for us.
What? Why? Aren't we going to fight?
It's hopeless. Duskmore on its own is one thing. But we don't stand a chance against Dialga. You two have kept up so well. I'm sorry to let you down. This is where it ends.
But...
I surrender, Duskmore. Do with me as you will.
My dear Grovile.
What's the matter, Grovile? It's not like you to give up so easily. Yes, I am giving up. But hope is still alive. Celebi, you remember that last time, when I traveled back in time to prevent the planet's paralysis, I wasn't alone. There was another.
What? There was someone else with you?
That's right. I had a partner. We headed to the past together. But when we were going through the passage of time, we had trouble. We got separated. My partner should still be in the world of the past. Even if I'm eliminated, my partner will see our mission through to the end. My partner will prevent the planet's paralysis. Huh. What's so funny? So you claim someone went to the past with you. Incidentally, what was the name of your partner? Go on, say the name. Why ask such a thing? Can't tell me? Please, that's not true. My partner's name was Casey. My best friend.
What? Did you just say... Casey? But this is Casey!
What? You're Casey? No. It can't be. It isn't. The Casey I know isn't a Pokemon. The Casey I know was a human. What? Precisely. My good fellow. Grovile. That is unmistakably your friend Casey. What? That Pokemon, you see, was once a human. Master Dialga had given me a mission. It was to get rid of you, Grovile, and Casey. Because you fled to the past. I traveled through time in pursuit of you both. In the past, I gathered intelligence that might help me find you. At one point, I met Team Synapse. Of course, at that point, I didn't suspect a thing.
My partner here.
Excuse me? A dream, you say? By dream, what do you mean? When they mentioned the dimensional scream, I was skeptical at first. But then, an idea began to take shape in my head. And... so a former human with no memories? A human that possessed the dimensional scream. I became convinced then.
Does that name ring a bell?
No. It means nothing to me, unfortunately.
Did I just see the faintest hint of a smile? Or did I imagine that?
There was no doubt. This Casey was the very one I'd been seeking. I guess I'm sipping again. Done. Water. So that Casey developed amnesia and was transformed into a Pokemon. It must be because of the accident during your time travel. Well, Casey's memory loss was a lucky stroke for me. After all, your partner failed to recognize who I am. It was quite easy to win over their trust. And it was even easier to drag them to the future when the time came.
He really was lying.
All that left was you, Grovile. The last part of the job to be finished.
I was a human from the future? And I was Grovile's partner? That was how I ended up in Celiana's world?
Grovile, Casey, with the both of you here, everything will end, and we can finally dispose of you. That will finally put an end to Grovile's glimmer of hope. Everything ends. Everything ends for you.
Dusknoir.
You finally come to terms with your fate? Grovile, Casey? Then it's time to be rid of you all. This is the end for you. Hey, Casey, Grovile. You can't give up. You're one to talk about not giving up. What can we possibly do in this bleak situation? We have to think. Goated game. You're not wrong. This is... Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a guilty pleasure of mine. Especially Time and Darkness, actually. I'd argue that this specific game, Time, Darkness, Sky, has the best plotline out of all of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. Second up would be probably a tie between the first and Blue and Red, and also Super. Kick him in the jewels! What jewels? Oh no, wait, you mean the Sableye. That's what you mean by kick him in the jewels. But yeah, hope you're doing well, T. Hope your morning's coming well.
Celebi, can your time travel ability transport us the short distance of the passage of time? It won't be easy with Dialga here, but I might be able to manage something.
Yeah, I would agree, Professor. Put this! Also, hello, welcome. Put this pencil here. Anyway.
Dialga is the temporal Pokemon. It controls time itself. Even if I can make us travel in time, he'll have no trouble exposing it. Even a little would work. Please.
Attack!
Time to bolt. Eh?
And thank you for the follow, Bomberman 60001. Welcome to Synapse. We host all types of wanderers here, yourself included. They vanished! Master Dialga. Roar of Time.
Ah! Our path got shattered.
There they are.
We were so close. Dive in, now. You can make it. Into the passage. What about you? Don't fret over me. I told you, I can't be caught. Stop the planet's paralysis. Change history.
Thanks. I won't let you down a second time.
Thank you, Celebi.
You're not getting away. Eh. The Grovyle silhouette always scared you as a kid? I can't blame you on that one. I think I had something similar happen with me and Luigi's Mansion. Like, for whatever reason, the game over screen for Luigi's Mansion terrified me as a kid, to the point that I never picked up the game again after dying once. It took a good, 6 or 8 years for me to get the bravery back to play back through that and finish it. Mind you, I was like a kid at the time, so maybe like 8 or 9ish, but even still. Also, welcome back to Nilta. Just escaped Dusk Noir's clutches. And we're back at this beach once again.
This is.
Casey, where? Isn't this where I met you, Casey? It's like that beach. Yeah, they purposely obscure it at the very beginning. Granted, if you don't know, if you don't have Pokemon knowledge, then I can see where it could terrify a little kid. Being like, oh hey, what's this mysterious Pokemon? I don't know what they're doing. Is it? They look so evil. I do agree on that. If you do have Pokemon knowledge, maybe it's just me and the fact that I ended up playing Pokemon Emerald as a kid first. I was curious as to what this Grovyle was doing, because I happen to like grass types, Grovyle especially. Parents let you watch a new series that showed dead. Ugh, yeah, that's a terrible idea. You don't show that type of stuff to kids. Like, seriously, you don't show that to a kid.
So that means. Are we back in the past? We're back in our world. Yes, we made it. Grovyle. Look around. We made it home. Back to our world.
First Pokemon game was Pearl.
Yeah,
That makes sense. You wouldn't have been able to see the Trico line at any point unless you transferred a Pokemon over, or happened to battle someone who had that Pokemon in the first place. Such, I don't think there is a person who does that in that game. Public TV and everything? Jeez. Even still, you don't show that type of show to a kid. So we did it. We made it through. Back to this world.
Yep. This is where I met Casey. Let me see. I think it was around here. Casey was out cold, right about here.
So that's what happened. The trip through time sent me into the Eastern Forest, and Casey and I both reached your world far away from each other.
Oh, that's right. I'm really confused by a lot of things, like this whole concept of time travel. Would you explain it to us?
Let's see. Night news show focused on crimes. Hmm. Right, you do have a point. If you hadn't watched, specifically the Ruby Sapphire slash entire Hoenn arc, really, then Trico, Grovyle, Sceptile, that line, and a whole lot of Gen 3 Pokemon would probably go over your head.
Let's go to Wigglytuff's guild. Talk there. Before we went to the future, we were trained there and roamed around. And then roomed there. It'd be the perfect place.
How'd your campaign go, by the way? I meant to ask, and I think I did post a message on, like, the Discord. By the way, if anyone is interested, we do have a Discord. Shoot. But yeah, like, I put up a message asking about how that went, but... Because, like, around that point in time, I happened to be eating, so I wasn't exactly looking there. Oops. Hold on. Will I be well received if I go to the guild? After all, I'm a wanted outlaw in this world. If I went to your guild, wouldn't everyone be shocked? Don't you think they'd try to capture me?
Come to think of it, you're right. What do we do? Wait. I think I know a place. Though we need to cut through Treasure Town.
It shouldn't be a problem if we lie low and sneak through. Lead the way.
This way.
The second outlaw section is finally finished. And with that, we get a few different things. The first off, a special episode featuring Team Charm. Some of those Pokemon may look familiar, some of them might not. If I remember correctly, at least one of them is linked to one of the Pokemon from Blue and Red Rescue Team. I could be misremembering. Someone almost died from crashing a fish tank! I'd make a joke like, they could tank through it, but evidently they couldn't.
This cliff is known as Sharpedo Bluff.
Sharpedo Bluff.
Yep. I think it's called that because the cliff is shaped like a Pokemon named Sharpedo. As far as I can tell, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Down here. I used to live here before I joined the guild. Go on, after you.
I see. A hollow chamber in the face of the cliff.
No one's been here to mess it up. It goes to show how little interest there is in this place. It may be better if we stay here for a while.
Agreed. I don't think you did mention that to me. That's an interesting concept. Could be useful for the normies. But Casey, I never expected you to be the Casey from before.
Grovile, could you tell us more about that?
Sure. Casey and I, we were jointly investigating the plant's paralysis.
A Pokemon and a human paired together.
Yeah. Casey had, or has, a special ability like no other. We relied on that ability to investigate the plant's paralysis. It played a vital part.
By special ability, you mean the Dimensional Scream, right?
Exactly. But the Scream does have a drawback. It requires the presence of a trusted Pokemon partner. Without that partner, the ability can't be triggered.
A trusted partner?
That's why we work together. The Scream is set off by triggers tied to the places where the Time Gears are hidden. We needed to find out where the Time Gears were in the past. We needed that Scream to accomplish that.
Wait a second. The Dimensional Scream needs a trusted partner, you said. But they were being triggered not long after we met.
Your point? All that shows is just how much trust you have in each other.
Well, when you put it like that, it's a bit embarrassing.
In addition, Casey developed amnesia. Upon meeting you, Celiana, your partner had someone to turn to. Perhaps Casey grew to trust you very quickly because of that.
That would make sense. Though there is something else I don't understand. Does the scream go off in response to only time gears?
Exactly. The opposite is also true. It's also, in other words, it can't be triggered by places that aren't connected to time gears.
Really? That's not how I remember it. Say, Casey, do you remember that time it went off near Drowsy? And during our first exploration? There were other times too, even. We went to all sorts of places that seemed to have nothing to do with the time gears. But even in places like that, the scream went off.
Ah, sorry, you didn't tell me about those glasses, actually. First I've heard of it, and that I could tell. It seems like it would be very useful for the normies of the world that you had. Being able to see other stands and everything. Are you sure? That never happened in the future. The dimensional scream was never triggered by places that had no tie to time gears whatsoever. Well, if that's true, I don't know why it would work differently here. Perhaps things are just different in this world. Perhaps the nature of the dimensional scream is altered in the past.
So, to summarize, in the future, the dimensional scream only works in places involved with time gears. Wait, maybe that's why that time, when we were in the future.
PC's got an argument if it was morally right to make the glasses in the first place. I do understand that. Like, on the one hand, it's really convenient to be able to see stands and interact with them and everything, but on the other side of the coin, stand users would also be put at a drastic disadvantage, wouldn't they?
Maybe I couldn't envision anything because we were in the future. Because that place wasn't connected to a time gear. Maybe that's why the scream failed to work. Maybe Grovile's right about the future and the past being different. Or different enough to make it work differently.
In front of the BBG? That's not a great place to argue in front of the big antagonist. Like I was saying, we were investigating the planet's paralysis. We used the dimensional scream ability to identify the locations of the time gears in your world while we were still in the future. That's it. Here.
That's it. Here. A time gear's here.
I see. Place the drought stone in Groudon's heart, and that lifts the fog. Very well done. Good job, partner. After identifying the locations where the time gears would be in the past, we took the passage of time. That brought us from our world into your future, to this world. However, we encountered turbulence while we were traveling through time. Thus, Casey and I became separated. There are a lot of different arguments you can make in this particular situation, story-wise. On the one hand, you could say, oh, hey, Primal Dialga might have interfered with them directly, because that was the last thing they could potentially have done. In other cases, you could also argue maybe they were ambushed at some point, and thus got disrupted that way. There's a lot of wiggle room, but regardless, they got separated at some point, such it makes sense. What'd you find out about Ruby? For some reason, Casey got amnesia and turned into a Pokemon. I can only guess it had something to do with our accident while traveling in time. I think so? I believe I remember who that character is.
I came from the future. And not just that, I came with the mission of preventing the planet's paralysis? It seems so outlandish. It doesn't feel real somehow.
Voiced by one of the right. Oh no. Voiced by one of the writers. That sounds like a bad time. I could see many situations where that particular character starts becoming a little too much like a sound box to the internals, and that's not a good idea. Sometimes more than the main character. Oh, jeez. Yeah, then that's really, really poorly staffed. Like, if a person doing the writing for a plot is also going to be doing some voicing, then they should go through multiple different takes just to make sure that they're not getting a swelled head, if that makes sense. Like, sure, if they voice a character, so be it. But even still, that particular character shouldn't be a focus, and they shouldn't be voicing too many characters, period, in the show, just to make things balanced. Because otherwise, it sounds a little too much like they're taking over the show, taking over its direction, and at that, acting like a personal soundbox, turning the show into their own personal soapbox, and that's not a good idea for a fictitious work. It makes it run stale. It makes it go in a terrible direction. Like, moment to talk about this actually, because I do some writing on my own, specifically with Mindless and everything. Like, in some respects, Sage Blake within Mindless is slightly self insert, but even then, I go through a lot of checks just to make sure that Blake isn't the primary focus of any one story. Sure, they do have a lot of involvement in some of the events, but they don't make too many decisions. They, if anything, roll with the punches with the rest of the cast. It's more the rest of the cast that they work with, the Dragon's Horde, that ends up being the focus of the story, as opposed to Blake, up until the points where Blake has to be brought into the spotlight because plot reasons, and because reliquary. When you voice the leader of the second main team, yeah, don't. Just. There's a fine balance that needs to be done with that type of thing. It's kind of like it's kind of like a sliding scale between, and I guess we could put Ruby on the negative end of that one now. Ruby and also the average Spider-Man film, because there are many instances in those where what's its nuts? I'm trying to remember his name and I can't. And I feel really bad because he's a face that should be remembered and cherished and not made into NFTs. God damn you, Marvel! Fuck you! Right, Soundbox. Sorry about that. Just that sliding scale. On the positive end, there is hey, I'm here for a couple words just to make a funny, and that's about it. And there's the negative side where it is, hey, I'm taking over the entire plot and making it all about me when it's clearly not supposed to be all about me. Yeah, Black Panther, I think, was also Marvel, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I wish I could remember his freaking name. I can remember his face, but I can't remember the name. I feel so bad. Uh, Pokemon. So, Casey, you may not remember any of this, but you were my closest friend. I worried about you when we were separated. I'm glad to see you're safe. Your appearance may have changed, and though you've lost your memories, you're still you. None of that alters the fact that you remain my friend. I'm glad to see you again. Well, you say that, but Casey's actually a girl, so... Actually, I might have shown artwork of Casey at one point or another. She's a rabbit, so... Now, we have to decide on our course of action. Like I've told you before, I'm going to collect the time gears again. What are you going to do? Sounds kind of hetero. They're lifelong partners. uh,
I'm a little worried about how time stops in the region where the time gears get removed. But if you're sure that it's only temporary...
Exactly. As soon as time gears are set in place at Temporal Tower, time will be restored to its normal state everywhere.
Then we'll go too. We'll go with you, Grovile. Stealing a time gear will cause trouble for Pokemon that live in the area. But we have to prevent the plant's paralysis.
Right. We'll go together. But the hour is late. We're also exhausted from all the running around we've done. We should rest up tonight. We'll leave in the morning. Although technically if the PC were male, then yeah, it would be... It would technically be BL, but hey, I always support. Pro LGBT. Well, LGBTQ, I should say. Celiana's not here. Maybe outside? What's the matter? Can't sleep?
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Dusknor.
No, that's not it. Well, maybe a little bit, but... Sure, finding out we were being fooled hurt. But hearing your story earlier, it made me realize maybe what Dusknor said in the future was true. And it made me understand that Casey really did come from the future. I was going over things like that in my head. Oh, look, Grovile. Sunlight. It's sunrise.
Well, why wouldn't his name be Dusk Black? He's an antagonist. Even though I'm of the mindset that black isn't necessarily bad, dusk isn't necessarily bad either, but hey, it's Pokemon, and Pokemon's meant for kids, so... linearity.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe it's because we were in the future for so long, but I didn't realize a sunrise like this could ever be so renewing. The sun rises, it sets. We take that for granted, and it's only natural. But the things we take for granted, they're really the most essential things in the world. And they're precious.
All I'd ever known is the future's world of darkness. Upon coming to this world, seeing the sun for the first time, it was staggering. Seeing it. It strengthened my resolve to turn history away from a future of darkness. There's one thing I want to ask you, Celiana. It's about that time in the future, when we were confronted by Dialga. Frankly, we were in a no-win scenario. There was no hope. Will they do the FF10 laughter? Just pull the Tidus laugh at some point. Anyway. Actually, that sounded like a crowd of dying seagulls. I am so sorry, birds. But when all seemed lost, you refused to give up. Even I'd given up. What compelled you? How did you manage to stay so strong?
Well, I wonder too. I really don't know. But maybe it was because Casey stood by me.
Casey.
Have a look at this.
What is this? There's an odd pattern inscribed on it. I've never seen anything like it. It's new to me.
This is my relic fragment. It's been many, many weeks and months since the last time I brought it out, so... Actually, it's been really, really long since the last time I've cleaned it, even. So pardon the smell.
It smells like... oranberries.
I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
What?
What? It's my personal treasure. It's my dream to one day solve the mystery behind this fragment. But I was scared so easily. I didn't have the courage to apply as an apprentice of the guild. That was when I met Casey. She was always there to cheer me up and steady my head. With Casey around, I felt like I could overcome any challenge. That's how I came to feel over time. Maybe that's why I was able to keep going without giving up.
Alright. I think I understand what you're saying.
Yes,
Casey has a special quality that makes others feel that way. The same way I care for Casey as a friend. You also feel that same way about her too, don't you, Celiana? Casey's lucky to be blessed with a friend like you. Well, I guess it's officially morning. We should leave soon.
right.
Alright. It's agreed we'll collect all the time gears. First, we have to decide which one to target first.
Let me see the Wonder Map. From here, Underground Lake would be the closest.
What about Tree Shroud Forest? That was where I got my first time gear the last time.
Where's that?
Here. It is far, but there's no one like EoSky guarding that time gear.
Oh, great. If we have to fight someone over a time gear, that would attract attention. Of course, that wouldn't be a problem for you, as that wouldn't be a problem here, right?
Exactly.
Then it's settled. That's where we'll go. Tree Shroud Forest.